Bethany Manctalo here. Welcome to our Millwall Fans Show with some new voices, but the same focus. Just everything Millwall. Enjoy!
Welcome to the 2025-26 season of Millwall No One Likes Talkin's Our Millwall Fans Show. I'm your host, Eamonn Barclay, and I'm excited to kick off this show with the fantastic trio of No One Likes Talking team members. Steve Warren, hello.
Hello.
Stan Godwin, hello.
All right.
And Jeff Burnige, hello.
Hello.
A warm welcome, hello to all our listeners too. How about that then?
Not everybody likes them, but they don't care.
Well, we do really, and we're pleased to welcome a guest here tonight, and there are numerous engaging Millwall topics to discuss during these exciting and sometimes bewildering times. First, we definitely have a prize or three on offer. Get yourself a personalised signed Brian King biography, The Lions King. The offering is led by the one and only Jeffster, and from all of the correct answers return to nolutalking@gmail.com. That's NOLUTALKIN@gmail.com. 3 will be drawn as winners. Over to you, Jeffrey.
Well, I came up with this one myself. It wasn't sent to me. So this is a Burnige original. Which Millwall player was sent off on his only league appearance for the club?
Can you repeat that again, the Jeffster?
Yes. Which Millwall player was sent off on his only league appearance for the club?
Get your answers in to NOLUTALKIN@gmail.com. 3 people will be drawn as winners. For now, let's pause a moment and hear from our sponsor, G&M Motors.
Hi, this is Jess Tuffield from G&M Motors. Operating from a modern and purpose-built facility in Milton Road, Gravesend, G&M Motors offers a complete range of new Honda cars and services. As well as new Hondas, we have an extensive range of used cars, including ex-Motability cars from a variety of manufacturers. Specialising in new Honda cars, G&M Motors has been retailing quality new and used vehicles to the people of Kent and South East London for over 4 decades. We have been a Honda dealership since 1972 and are the country's longest serving supplier of this renowned mark. Conveniently sited just 2 miles from the A2, 10 miles from the M25 and Dartford Crossing, visitors to our showroom are assured a warm welcome from our experienced and friendly staff. Our facilities include an on-site workshop capable of providing full vehicle servicing and repairs, as well as an extensive parts department offering genuine Honda parts and accessories. The expertise of our skilled mechanics is not limited to just Hondas, but extends to most makes and models of motor vehicles. Whatever your motoring needs, visit us at G&M Motors today. The newly extended hours of our G&M headquarters means that you can contact us from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. on weekdays and 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. on Saturdays. To contact us, call us today on 01474 365 026.
Thank you, Jess. Debbie Julian's here. Don't forget to call Jess on 01474 813562. G&M Motors have been dear friends with the Julians family for over 4 decades now. From my dad Lenny to me, Debbie, Lions together.
I'm your host, Eamonn Barclay, and with me I have the No One Likes Talking team of Stan Godwin, Steve Warren and Jeff Burnige. A big thank you to our sponsor, G&M Motors. Our guest tonight is a highly experienced sports development professional. He's widely recognised for his extensive career of football coaching and community engagement, spanning over 26 years, and this was recently awarded by the English Football League. If you have not yet worked out who it is, well, you better start getting to know the one and only Sean Daly. All say hello to Sean.
All right, Sean.
Evening, everyone. Evening.
Evening, Sean.
Good evening, Jeff.
Eamonn here, Sean. Feeling stress-free this week?
Had a bit of a busy week, but it's all settled down and enjoyable.
Well, that's a pleasant thing to know, really. Well, a 26th Service Award from the EFL was made to you ahead of the Derby game last week. Can you tell us a bit more about this latest honour bestowed upon you?
Yeah, so during the week I'd gone up to EFL Conference, which is it's an annual event every year where all the CEOs from the trust go up there and CEOs of the club. And halfway through the sort of like afternoon when we do like workshops and different things, they just said, we've got to give out some lifetime awards. So I'm sitting right at the back and they just said, first one, he's done 18 years at Charlton. I went, I've done 18 years at Charlton. They went, he's been all around the world as like a tutor for the FA. And I thought, yeah, so have I. Who's that then? I was sitting there, it didn't take me for a while. And then they went, now he's CEO of Millwall. So I literally went up, got the award and come back down. And then Debbie Cook was coming to the Derby game, who's the CEO of the EFL. And she said, I'd like to present the award to you on the pitch, if that's okay. And I went, yeah, of course, no problem. So I was quite shocked. I never knew anything about it. I didn't know it was coming or anything like that. But I'm hoping they're giving it to me now, knowing that I might not be in the EFL next year, I'm hoping.
Good point, Sean. Good point.
I did say that to them. I said, what, am I getting it now? Because I might not be here next year. And they just laughed. So I'm hoping that's why I've got it.
Well, that might be the reason. They might let you through the gates now. The other side of the coin is it wasn't as obvious because Tamer Hussain wasn't there to present it, I suppose. But there you go.
No.
Yeah, no, that's reasonable. Thanks for that.
Hi, Sean. It's Stan here.
Hi, Stan.
What a wonderful community day on Saturday. I was delighted to see the organisation's MCT staff and teams paraded. Can you tell us about the community presentations made by the FLC inductee Gary Alexander?
And then at half-time, we just gave out some awards to people that we have felt that supported the trust during the year. So award went out to Gianluca, I think everybody knows, Daniele and Reece Wiggins. And it's just really a thank you from the trust to say for all their support that they've helped us. But I wanted to get Gary Alexander down to hand them out for us because he was inducted into the Forever Lions before the game. I just thought it'd be a nice thing, instead of me giving out the awards, to have like a former player do it. It's just really us acknowledging people for their support of the trust.
I think Stan's been a recipient of that himself, actually.
He has, yes.
Yes. What has been the feedback from those showcased on the day and from those who went around collecting donations?
Yeah, well, it's always good to have some groups from MCT around. So on the day we had the Romans, we had the Girls Lionesses, we had our walking football, we had our military, and of course we had the Lionesses. And it was great for them to engage with the fans, let the fans know about the game that's coming up on the 29th. But it's really just to get all of those groups out and get them to meet people. And I think the Lionesses used it as a great opportunity to promote themselves and the big match that's coming up. And I spoke to Kai, I think a couple of days ago, and I think they've got about 2,000 tickets, or people have shown interest about 2,000 tickets for the game. So it's looking like it's going to be a good day.
Oh, excellent.
I saw a group of the Lionesses in the 1885. Jordan Butler and a group of 3 others were talking to people and really doing a great job. And I'll give them a great big 10 for their effort in there. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Carry on.
Hi, Sean. It's Steve here.
Hi, Steve.
Hiya. So, 4 more men and women became members of the Forever Lions Club on Saturday. Your first pair of brothers, a man who scored that wonder goal at Wembley and presented the community awards, and the remarkable Lioness with 257 games behind her, who went on to promote women's football for the FA. Brian King spoke highly of you and Mark Fairbrother regarding the Forever Lions' impact and success. How's it going from your perspective?
I want to acknowledge people that have played for Millwall, and you know, when I go to see people and I thank them for playing for Millwall, and they're the other way around. They're sort of like, no, I thank you for inviting us back. It's taken a while to get it going. I think it has got some traction now, and I just want to make it bigger next year. You know, when the fixtures come out next year, I want to get those inductions in early. But from all the feedback I've got from everyone, I think it's going down really well. I think it's going down well with the fans. You know, they get an opportunity to see players that they haven't seen for a while. Players get to come back to the Den and sort of say, you know, I'm still around, I love this place. You know, upstairs they talk about their time at our place. So I think it's got a good traction now. I've just got to make sure it continues into next season, and now as a legacy it continues going forward.
Yeah, I think it's a brilliant idea, and I mean it's really working well. Even for when you're sort of standing around, people seeing and talking about the players that are on the pitch, reminiscing. You know, it's really good.
Oh, thank you.
The Millwall Lionesses play Sutton United on Sunday the 29th of March at the Den. There's a lot going on. Can you tell us more about what's taking place?
Well, we're trying to make sure that it becomes a family day, because that's what football's about, and what we want to try and do is we're trying to do some activities around the game, so it's more of an entertainment. You know, it's a bit different from a men's game where a lot of people come and hang around the bus and have drinks and stuff like that. So we're trying to make it more family orientated. So it's going to be the Junior Lions Day as well. So we're encouraging all the Junior Lions to come with their parents. And then we're going to have things like inflatables around there. We're going to have face painting. We're going to have players around there. We're hoping to get a couple of the full, first team men's players around there. But we're trying to make it a fun experience for everyone, a family day. And like I just said a minute ago, I think we're up to about 2,000 tickets. We're just going to try and make it a memorable day. So it's not just they come in and play a game of football. It's, well, actually, there's a lot around it. And then you can take it back to the club and say, look, this is a family day that we should be doing 2 or 3 times a year. And, that can be the catalyst for it. There's a women's game afterwards, or the Romans play. Yeah, there's a lot going on. So I'm hoping it's going to be a good day.
Yeah, I hope the sun shines.
Yes.
Sean, it's Jeff here.
Hi, Jeff.
It was a great day, I must say, and I really enjoyed the parade of everybody around at half-time. Fantastic. And they got a great reception, didn't they? Everybody did.
I was so surprised to see how many people were still in the stadium to do that,
I was too. Exactly what I thought. Brilliant. I noticed something else. Our friend Gianluca Sardi was among a group of visitors when you hosted the Embassy of Italy in London, alongside local MP Neil Coyle, during the Italians' visit to Millwall Football Club and the Community Trust. What was the purpose of this event?
I received a call about 3 months ago from the Italian Embassy. They've been coming to the games with Gianluca and watching the games, and I think Gianluca's talked a lot about impacts of football and how the football club have used the vehicle of Millwall to impact the local community. So, and I've had a couple of discussions around with them and just sort of touching about what we do. And then they phoned up and just sort of said, look, could we come down in a couple of weeks? Could you put a presentation on about the club and how you use football? Because in Italy, it's not really like what you seem to be doing. We have football, they have football camps, but they don't seem to be using football to change people's lives and make impact around crime, social, antisocial behaviour, health. And we'd just like to get a little bit more about it. So the day before, Neil Cole said he was coming as well. And they came down. I put a presentation on about the work we do. I talked about the 2 areas and how different they are and how the club have, our social value of the projects we do for the local boroughs, around 7 million for each borough. I said how we work with the local boroughs and we're quite embedded with the council. It was good. It was really good. And then they came onto the pitch and I presented them with a shirt each as well. But I think it's more of they wanted to look at good practice, and they didn't really want to go to a Premier League club, or the Arsenals or Tottenhams. They wanted to go to a club that was really like a working man's club, but sort of like how they really use that football to impact them. It's not about being in the Premier League. It's more about using that football vehicle to impact those local communities. It was a great day. Really was good.
I'm sure they will have been impressed because everyone knows the Trust is doing more and more and fantastic work all the time. I'd also like to mention the fact that you and the Trust won the London Football Awards the other week for its innovative employment hub at the Lions Centre. I'm sorry I missed that awards evening. Other nominees were West Ham and Crystal Palace. So your team have done extremely well. Can you give the listeners an overview of the successful winning project?
It's not my project. It was dreamt up by one of my officers, John. The Department of Work and Pensions came to us a while back about doing some job fairs. They were finding it very difficult to engage people to go to the job centre. It's not very fashionable, and people weren't really engaging with their job workers, and they just sort of said, look, we need to think out of the box a little bit. We need to come up with something else. And they sort of came to me and sort of said, look, we want to put a job fair on. Could we do it at the stadium? So I introduced them to the stadium, the people at the stadium, and they went in there and had a look round, and they just sort of said, this isn't really for us. It's sort of very corporate, and it's nice, but it's not really what I do. So I took them to the Lions Centre, and they said, this is more like what we like. So we put a job fair on, and we got about 400 people for the first job fair. A lot of people came, and the feedback was, we're coming to a football club, We'd like to rather come to a football club, have our picture outside the stadium and go and look for a job. We looked at some space that we had within the Lions Centre, and DWP turned around, could we have that space? And we'll pay you for that space, and we'll set up a job centre in there. So their job workers now come on and are based in there 2 or 4 times a week. They do all their meetings in there. All the people looking for jobs come to the job centre. And it's really took off, and we've got a lot of people got into work. We have to nominate what ward we want to go for. So a couple of years ago, we went for the military. We went for the Romans, but we thought this is something different. No, there is other clubs beginning to do it, but not maybe to the level that we've got. We've actually got a dedicated area in the Lions Centre where other clubs have just got like hot desks, and we went for it. We also went for Community Player of the Year with Lucas Jensen, and a couple of players are up. But I thought we had a strong application, and I thought we had a strong project. So I wasn't surprised we won it. It's nice to beat both of them for me. I'm happy with both of that. But yeah, it's a great project. And we've put it up for now our EFL award. So we've now got to go for a national award, and we've put that in as our award for our application.
Yeah, that would be excellent. Good luck with that.
Thank you.
Really amazing. I was there on the night, and it was heartwarming to say the least. Seeing as Arsenal won virtually everything else.
5 awards went to Arsenal, and we're like, I did say they've got to share these out. It ain't going to be the London Awards if it carries on. It's going to be the Premier League Awards.
That's it.
So,
well, Bromley got something, didn't they?
Yes, which is good.
Despite throwing their table over. But never mind. That was okay. Sean, tell us about Millwall Community Trust Alicia Marcangelo, who has been highlighted by the Premier League as a Premier League kicks turns 20 years old.
Alicia's been sort of like what the Community Trust's about, really, I think. Young lady came to us around about 13, 14 years old, engaged with us on the kicks programme, got excluded from school, came and sort of like done her schooling with us here at the Trust, continued doing kicks and maybe going on to some of our girls' programmes, got her coaching badges. Then we managed to get her into college over in Lewisham. Now turned out to be a great young person, working at a ticket office, working for us as a trust, coaching in local schools and that. She's what the community trust is about, that intervention at a young age, steering away. And she's happy to say, that she was off the rails. And I think the community trust with the staff that were there gave her that sustainability, having a regular adult there, someone to look up to, and then sort of seeing that she could do things, she could go and inspire other young people. She could get a full-time job. She could go to college, which I think at 13 and 14, she never thought she could do. And every year we have to nominate someone from the trust or from Kicks that we felt has sort of gone through that journey and sort of engaged with everything for it. So, we nominated her for it. And, this year she's gone to Wembley. She's spoken to Sadiq Khan about her journey. She's spoken to the Violence Reduction Unit about her journey and how a football club has put some input into her being the right way. So, a lovely girl, great role model. But I think what she sums up is what the Community Trust is about.
I read that article you've got on your website. She was very open about all that had gone wrong in her life and how she actually recovered through that with the help of the Mill Community Trust. I mean, it's a tremendous statement about what the trust is capable of doing and that people can actually find a way forward when things look really bleak. And Alicia paints a wonderful picture of that. Fantastic work, Sean, I've got to say.
No, thank you very much.
Yeah. Before you leave us, Sean, I have Ted's prediction league. Now, you haven't seen Ted for a long while because he's hardly ever here these days. Anyway, there's 3 matches and we want your score predictions. First up is, obviously, Ipswich v Millwall.
Yeah, I'm going up to the game. So
right.
I think a draw will be good, but I don't want 0-0. I don't want to go all the way up there for 0-0. So I'm going to go for 1-1.
1-1, okay. Next up is Blackburn, last week's competitors, versus Middlesbrough.
I'd like Blackburn to continue their run. So I'd like them to turn them over. Whether they will or not, I don't know. But I think this is going to end up in a draw as well, which if we can get something at Ipswich and they get a draw, I won't be too bad that. But I'm going to go 1-1 on that again.
Okay. And last but not least is Bristol City versus the rapidly sinking West Bromwich Albion.
I'm going to go 1-0 Bristol City. Right. I think they're totally sinking at the moment, West Brom. A couple of years ago, they were trying to buy every player, weren't they, to try and get promotion, right. And it shows you how it can turn.
Yeah, they overdone it. Thanks for those predictions. There is a chance you might win a prize. I'll just put you in the picture. That well, we don't know what the prize is. The season's nearly over. I don't know what Ted's going to come up with. Perhaps he's got a pot of gold down there in Whitstable that he's found in the sea. But we'll see what happens. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Sean, look, many thanks for joining us as usual. Everyone has once again been impressed by the success of our Mill Community Trust and by your personal drive and those who work with you to make it the best. We look forward to hearing from you next month. Wishing you and your family all the best. Until next time, it's time to say bye, Sean.
Goodbye, everyone. Thank you very much for all your support.
Yeah, bye, Sean. Cheers, Sean.
Have a lovely
Goodbye, Sean. Goodbye, Sean, and enjoy your trip. Enjoy your trip to Suffolk on Saturday.
I will if we score.
Bring back some points.
What an amazing work by the Millwall Community Trust. The future for the club and community is in safe hands of Sean and his team. We'll take a break and have a listen to Harvey Brown.
Hi, Harvey Brown here. I am proud of the Lions Food Hub, which is jointly owned by Kelly and Ellen Webster. and they have been supporting families within our community on Millwall match days. If you would like to donate to them, they have a match day donation hub at the SE16 bar at Coldblow Lane, end of the ground, where they accept any food or money and toiletry donations. If you can help, any donations will be received with thanks.
I'm your host, Eamonn Barclay, and with me I have the wonderful No One Likes Talkin team of Stan Godwin, Jeff Burnige and Steve Warren. Please consider donating at the Lions Centre if you will not be at the match this weekend. Well, you won't be because the team aren't there either. And in fact, the international break's happening as well. So get down to the Lions Centre with your donations. Ellis Barr has made a good recovery from her surgery since mid-September, and we hope her mobility continues to improve. Here's Ellis.
Hello, Ellis here, and I'm glad to be back talking about Millwall. I know many have watched my videos. Thanks for your support along the way. It is now time to hear what all the Millwall teams are up to. Come on, Millwall!
Thank you, Ellis, and thanks for letting us know how you're getting on. Paul Loading brings us the Millwall Pride and Millwall Romans update, and here we go.
Hi, it's Paul Loading at the Millwall Romans with a little update for the week. Again, a great result for Pride, playing away to Barnstormers. Pride really pushing for promotion this year. They're playing some great football, picking up points all over the place, and yes, they managed to beat Barnstormers 2-1 away. The Romans team headed to West Ham Memorial Ground to play the London Unity League semi-final game. It was a very good game. Stonewall really played very deep, and we were struggling to get around their defence. They played very much like a low block. It was a bit of a strange tactic from them, considering it was a semi-final. But it was getting a little bit frustrating from our side. We went into half-time 0-0. Came out, and within about 10 minutes, Bass taken a shot from about 30 yards out. Weather was a bit atrocious. It slipped on the surface, went under the keeper. And that's how it remained for the rest of the game, 1-0. Even after that, I wouldn't say Stonewall really pushed forward at all, even though it was the semi-final. But a very good results. Good results all round for both teams. I just want to touch on from last weekend as well. We attended the community day with the Mill Community Trust. Sean and the team, just unbelievable what they do for the local community there, and we're huge fans of them, and they're great to us as they always have been, as our Millwall Football Club. Managed to have a quick chat with Mark as well. It's always great to see him. He's always welcoming. Great to see loads of people as well down there. It was a really good day. The sun was shining. This is pre-3 o'clock. The sun was shining. It was a great day. Everyone was in good spirits. I think a lot of people turned up early to get a few pre-drinks in before the game. So I think we've worked out now why Millwall are losing a game like on Saturday, and that's down to us being there. We seem to be the bad luck for Millwall. We went to the Portsmouth game a few weeks ago, and obviously Millwall lost that one. Really devastating for the weekend. I thought we were sitting at that end, and that to me was no way a red card. You could see that. I don't know how the referee's given that decision, which really spoiled the game for them, obviously, and cracking goal. Yeah, a bit devastating, but I think it's down to us, and I think we're a bit reluctant to watch them anymore. And predictions for this weekend, obviously huge game. Millwall Ipswich, I think Millwall are going to nick it 2-1. Blackburn Middlesbrough, I think Middlesbrough will nick that 2-0. Bristol City West Brom, I can't see that being a high scoring game. I'll go 1-1.
Well, nice predictions. Don't be daft about not going to the Den again. Most of us have seen all these travesties happen for many years, particularly when we played Blackburn Rovers. It looks like you're both heading towards silverware. You're into the final of the league. Pride is that they're on fire. You've picked up some really good players, and local ones that are Millwall fans too. So let's hope two of the team in the same league. We did have an awful defeat to Blackburn. It marred the day, really. But a big thank you to the Millwall FC media team. Let's hear what Alex Neal said after the match?
Any real sort of pressure? I can't really remember a save for Parker to make in the first half, but we didn't play as well as we wanted. We didn't have as much territory as we wanted, and we didn't look as threatening as we wanted. So half time, obviously made a couple of changes, changed the shape. I thought we looked much brighter in the second half. We get the goal that I thought we deserved at that point. And then I think more importantly, we have 3 opportunities before they score to make it 2-0. And this is the difference at the level. If you take one of those 3 chances, I think we had Cammy's one where he's clean through and we've got 11 men. We've got Josh's one on his left foot where he's 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper. And then we've got Femi's one on his right foot that goes over the bar. So we had 3 real good opportunities to get the next goal. I've seen the sending off back. I've watched all the incidents, so at least I know what I'm talking about. I don't think it's a sending off. You know, it happens really early in the pitch. Zach's getting back across him. He's going wide the goal on his next touch. Coops is recovering. And I think it's extremely harsh as a red card. And ultimately that sort of sways the game, doesn't it? Because up until that point, certainly second half, we were the better side. But then I say we go on and have 2 more opportunities when we've got 10 men, which is great. We keep 2 up top to make sure we've got an outlet and we can get up the pitch. And then, the sending off obviously changes the dynamic of the game. And then for there, the first goal is extremely disappointing for us in terms of defending the box. We don't slide across. I think for left centre back quick enough. We then sort of go that way in the box and let the lad inside us to score. And then the second one, we lose the ball in a transition. You know, we've got the ball's going out to Luke's feet, I think. I think Mika then tries to take a touch, directs it to them, and then the next minute we get done in behind. We step out and we shouldn't, and we don't match the runner. And then for there it becomes really difficult. But honestly, at that time, I didn't really even see that coming. I thought we were in control, albeit we had 10 men, and I thought it was 2 transitional moments that we don't deal with well.
Jeff, as a perennial diplomat that you are your sentiments the same as Alex Nels?
Alex is a very diplomatic type of a manager, isn't he? Yeah, I do agree with everyone agrees with what he said there. It was astonishing at the time to see the referee rapidly pull that red card out of his pocket to give it to Zach Sturge. But no one could believe it, and it's no surprise that the professional game of referees, PGMOL I think they're called, they realised that was a mistake and that card was rescinded. And I understand that the referee on the day has been stood down from this week's programme. Can't be certain of that, but I believe that's the case. So the other thing, of course, that was mentioned by everybody after the game was a very, very good penalty appeal. Should we say very good? I am being diplomatic. That was a penalty all day long. And the manager referred to the chance that Camille Negley had just before the red card. That was given as a goal kick when the keeper got his fingertips to it. One of at least 3 corners we could have had. The officials didn't see that a Millwall player was not the last one to have touched the ball before it went out of play. All in all, a very surprising performance by the official.
Well, that satisfactorily leads me on to pose a question to Stan. Stan, do you think we should keep going with the same approach, where referees make some terrible decisions, or is there a better alternative?
See, my view on all this is, I remember a couple of years ago it was on the opening day of the season, we played against Watford and we was 2 down and then we got back to 2-2 and then Watford scored right in the last minute and won the game. Later on that night there was a picture on Twitter and the guy heading the ball, and it's a Millwall fan, and he turns around and said, had there have been VAR, he said, then the goal would have been disallowed. Now, my response to that was, well, had there have been VAR in the first half, because we was attacking that end in the first half, I said we would have had a penalty, but we didn't get it because there's no VAR. Now, I said, now the position is in terms of the Football League, right, the Football League's view is, and I suspect a lot of supporters, I wouldn't necessarily say the majority of them, don't want VAR, right? Now, I'm not a great fan of it, but you see, this is the dilemma, right? If we turn round and say, well, we'll have VAR, right? I mean, it might well be they can possibly upgrade it in certain aspects, I don't know, but VAR as it stands at the moment now, right? If we turn around and say we're then going to have it, then we're going to have all the aggravation that then goes with it. You know, standing around 4 minutes after whether the ball was a goal or whether it weren't a goal, and, you know, so-and-so was offside because half his boot was in an offside position and all that sort of rubbish. But if we turn around and say, well, no, we're not having VAR, and we've now got the current system, well, I'm afraid that then we're going to have to put up with the current system. Because at the moment, I don't see where you can have a situation where you get the best of both worlds, right? Now, I was always one to criticise referees because I always took the view before we had VAR that with some of these referees, especially where the games are televised, when they make some of these horrendous decisions they should be made to speak in front of the camera and explain why it was they made them decisions. I mean, that's my view. So I don't know. I mean, it's a dilemma. If we're not going to have VAR or anything like it, then we're then lumbered with what we got then.
That's not dissimilar to what you see in rugby, where you hear clearly why they give the decisions, and that seems to work quite well. But I think something has got to change, and we've got to treat it in a better way.
Now, my understanding of it is, and I don't know how true it is, right, that the referees in football don't want that. They don't want to be in a position where you have all that. They make a decision, and the way it is now, right, is the way it stays. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know, but that's my understanding. They do not want people listening to their decisions.
They don't want to be open, transparent and clear about what they do, because then that way no one will ever blame them. They haven't got any responsibility.
No, that's right, yeah.
And it's wonderful. Thanks for that, Stan. I thoroughly understand where you're at. I'm now going to go over to Steve. There is a maddening crowd among our fan base who believe that everything that happens to us is engineered by those in charge of the game. Never mind just the referees. It's all being done to keep us from reaching the top flight. What are your thoughts?
Conspiracy? What conspiracy? The saying goes, there's no smoke without fire. And to that end, you can't blame the supporters and possibly the club from thinking everyone's out to get them. I only hear about our team being punished for chants and the like, yet it goes on at other and bigger clubs and no action's ever taken. We just remain this convenient hanger for all football's ills to be sort of planted on. And you never hear any real news in any real shape about the good work that the Community Trust does and how it is reaching out, how our club is doing so well at doing that. But going back to sort of, is there someone going out to get us? Well, I was there on Saturday when I watched the game back, and I watched the full game back, and I saw 3 corners and a penalty that were not given, and 2 of them where there was a direct line of sight to the officials. The sending off was a yellow at best, and with a player running back, and he was running across him, he just had his legs clipped. So for me, statistically, the error rate from a team of what are so-called trained professionals just doesn't add up. So you have to think, all right, go on, what's going on? And you might say it's my perspective sitting in the middle of the ground looking out. Well, I actually sit beside the away dugout and I get a good view of what goes on around the centre of the pitch. And to be fair, it's an almost identical position to that bloke who's the 4th official. So how is he missing all of the yanks and tugs on Coburn? In fact, at one point, their player had his hand at the top of his shirt, so his knuckles were on his neck. So I wouldn't be allowed to play that, get away with that when I was playing rugby. So, why is that allowed in football? Corners, Cooper's shirt is off his back pretty much every week. So again, how's that legal? Me, I'd move the club to skin-tight shirts or the use of Velcro so it comes off in the player's hand. The referee giving those kicks on Saturday, the free kicks against us, for some quite dubious tackles. And right around the box in all good kickable positions. And getting on to penalties, it's laughable, the lack of penalties that we get. In the last 5 given to us in the last 4 years. And to be fair, they wouldn't even have to worry about giving them to us because we never score the bloody things. So I would say our players in the main are too honest. You see them standing up under challenges. They're not throwing themselves on the ground or dropping before contact, which you see a lot of clubs do. And I think those things are the sort of things that should be picked up after the game and stopped. So, this week's ref cost us the points. And when we get to the 46th game, he may have cost us promotion, automatic, or even worse. So where's his punishment from a job that badly done? What, they're going to give him a week off? I'd give him a year off. And let's be clear, I was a referee. I was a rugby referee. And I don't mind people making bad decisions. But it's got to be consistently bad, both ways, and I'm not seeing that. So, is there an agenda? Well, it's kind of hard to know, but the evidence I've just cited says, well, maybe there is. So from the fans' perspective, and that's our perception, these are facts because we're seeing it week in and week out. So perhaps something does warrant a closer inspection. What do you think?
Well, I think it does warrant a closer inspection. And I think it warrants a closer inspection in terms of the people that are there managing the game.
Can I just add something about that?
Go on,
now, in relationship to VAR, right? Now, I don't know whether you know this, right? But at the last World Cup, right, obviously we had our British officials out there, referees and linesmen and whatever, the same as everybody else did. But there was one difference.
Yeah,
the difference was that there was no British referees or linesmen operating on VAR.
Correct.
Now, that tells you a story, doesn't it? Why? Because it always fascinates me. We got the World Cup coming up soon. I bet you we don't have half the aggravation with VAR over there that you get over here with league games.
Well, there's a perception. Whether it matches reality, we're not sure. But I think it's valuable that you've said that because it is a perception. I've been watching some of the Champions League games and watch the way in which they manage VAR, which I think is very commendable in comparison to what I've seen it being managed in the Premier League. Don't you agree, Jeff?
I think you could be right, but I must say, I have to be quite plain here. I am a big fan of VAR, or VAR as I prefer to call it. I wish that Millwall's games were on VAR. For example, in the Blackburn game, at least two important decisions would not have survived an inspection by VAR. That would put aside any worries about conspiracy theories, wouldn't it?
It would.
One of the reasons that VAR is unpopular, it reduces the number of goals, because the number of great goals that get given for, was it Stan said, half a boot being offside, that's the main issue that people have got with it. The way it's interpreted, if any part of your body that can score a goal is offside, then you're offside. Whereas it is possible that an idea of Arsene Wenger's, someone I don't always agree with by any means, that there has to be clear daylight between the player and the last defender. And that would, I think, improve.
This Saturday, it's Portman Road to face Ipswich Town. At the Den in December, our Boxing Day, we watched a 0-0 draw between ourselves and Ipswich. They absorbed our set pieces and long throws, and we kept them at bay with their precise passing on the ground. No losses, only wins in the last 6 for Town, as we have now 2 losses in our last 6. We are a better class than when they got promoted 2 seasons ago. They will be missing 3 key players, I'm believed. Sturge returns for us, having had his red card rescinded, and maybe we will see some others return from injury too. Alex Neil aims to keep us in the playoff zone, and I'm sure he would be delighted if we even improve our position further. A win for Town will put them into contention for the 2nd spot. The bookies have Ipswich at 4-6 on to win. A draw is 5-2, and Millwall win is 7-2. It's a broad spread on the odds. Strangely enough, it's almost the same spread that we had when Blackburn visited us last Saturday. But what do you reckon, team? Ipswich versus Millwall. Steve?
I reckon we're going to win that 1-0. I think it's going to be a tough game. I think clearly Ipswich will be short a few players, and as you've already mentioned, that We've had similar runs in the last 6, but they've won or drawn 2 and we've lost 2.
Yeah.
But I think having Zach back, that's going to be that's going to be good for us. And I think there's a chance, reading some of the news there might be other people coming back. So
yeah,
I just think we'll win a tight game.
Let's be hopeful. Jeff, your thoughts?
I think if we got our reserve result last week, then we'd have gone to Ipswich ahead of them and thinking that a draw would be a good result. The way things worked out last week, I think our mindset will be, well, that was a very unfair thing last week, but we can go to Ipswich this week and win. That will put it right. And I predict that's exactly what's going to happen. So I think 72 odds, and I don't, really, I'm not a betting man, but I must say that doesn't look too bad to me. I might have £1 each way. Is there each way on football? Of course there is.
Yes, there is.
But,
yes.
No, that was that's my feeling. I've got a feeling that we will go there angry at last week and win that game. And I can't wait. I cannot wait for that game.
Right, let's be hopeful again with Jeff. But what about you, Stan? What's your position?
Well, I think that I would personally, although Ipswich might have some players out for whatever reason, I wouldn't add too much store by that, because to be fair, Ipswich are a good side and their squad is very good. So I've got no doubt that the players that will come in for Ipswich will offer, a potential threat. I don't think it'll make them that weak, if you know what I mean. So, but we're going to go up there. I mean, all right, we've got potential promotions on deciding on it, but it's going to be a tough game. But then it would be anyway, because Ipswich are a good side. I mean, so it will be a hard game either way. But I think my view is, I think we'll win by the odd goal. So it'll either be 1-0 or 2-1 or 3-2.
So which one are you going for?
Well, I'll go for 2-1, I think.
To us. That's lovely. Well, those are some interesting thoughts. And I look forward to seeing my prediction, not the one that I had last week, a 3-0 win for us against Blackburn, but the one that I'm more realistically looking at this week for us, a 2-1 away win turns out for us. And I've just got a feeling, a little bit like you, Jeff, a little bit like you, Stan, and a little bit like you, Steve. Right, so let's be hopeful. What are your predictions for the other 2 games? Steve, Blackburn, Middlesbrough, and Bristol City, West Brom.
As Sean said earlier, I'd love Blackburn to beat Middlesbrough, but I think that's going to be 1-1.
Okay.
And Bristol City, I think they're going to beat West Bromwich Albion 2-0. West Bromwich Albion just seem ready for the drop.
Yeah, it looks like it. It could be bad. Jeff, how about your thoughts on Blackburn Borough and Bristol versus West Brom?
Well, Borough seem to be stuttering a little bit, don't they? Blackburn will have been really buoyed up by winning the game last week. I think they might do us a favour. I'm going to go for a Blackburn 1-0 win there.
Excellent.
Bristol City against West Bromwich Albion. I'm going to go against the others here. I think Bristol City are terrible.
Okay.
I think they are sinking, and I feel that West Brom, under their interim manager, are showing a little bit of signs of they realise the trouble they're in. I'm going to say they go to Aston Gate and win. Again, I'm going to go for a 1-0 away win.
That's wonderful stuff. Well, I'm going to give my predictions, and I'm saying Blackburn to beat Borough 1-0, and I'm saying Bristol City to get defeated by West Brom 2-1. Over to you, Stan. What are yours?
Well, I think Blackburn will win 1-0 on Saturday. And I also think that West Brom will lose.
Okay.
So I'll say Bristol City 2, West Brom 1.
Fantastic.
I happen to think West Brom's going to get relegated as it goes.
Yeah. Well, you heard it here first, listeners. Get your money on Brom going down. Stan said it first. Right. We also have predictions from Nick Wythe of the Facebook Millwall Sicily site. Let's hear what Nick predicts.
Hello. My predictions: Ipswich 2, Millwall 0. Blackburn 0, Middlesbrough 2, Bristol City 1, West Brom 0. Thank you.
Well, what can I say? We've heard what Nick's predicted. I'm not so sure I want to say thanks for that, Nick, but thank you for sending your predictions in. And thank you so much to Dave Hart for taking the time to compile the results and create the table. Your effort means a lot to us, and we truly appreciate your hard work. Well, we'll take a break there and listen to Bethany talking about the Millwall Community Trust.
Our Millwall Community Trust Lions Centre has a 4G football pitch where 9 versus 9 can play, a sports hall, classrooms and a cafe. To access these state-of-the-art facilities in a safe and positive environment, get in touch on 0207 740 0503.
I'm your host, Eamonn Barclay, and with me I have the No One Likes Talkin team of Stan Godwin, Jeff Burnige and Steve Warren. The Trust's annual report is out and it makes for compelling reading about what they do. Download a copy from social media. Plus there's lots of stuff being circulated, in particular by our own Stan, about the work of the Millwall Community Trust, and you'll see that across X and obviously across Facebook. Well, we're all looking forward to the next game, but in the meantime, here are a few matters for Millwall fans and those interested in football.
And what a memento of Community Day. Why not bid for match-worn shirts from Millwall's Sky Bet Championship fixture, Blackburn Rovers, which is now available for auction, with the proceeds going to Millwall Community Trust. Just go to the Millwall Community Trust website, search for Donate to Millwall Community Trust with match-worn shirt and place your bid. You could also own the MC branded tops from the likes of Femi Aziz, Mihailo Ivanovic, goal scorer Luke Kundal and more by placing a bid at the link on the page.
Next week it's the international break and we'll return on Saturday the 4th of April with our Millwall News and Views show live on Maritime Radio on 96.5 FM, DAB or on their website. As a reminder, on Saturday match days, No One Likes Us Talking Gary Staff brings match previews, half-time analysis and a match report on Maritime Radio on 96.5 FM, their website and on DAB across South East London and North West Kent. Midweek, the breakfast show airs reports from 7 a.m, including coverage of Millwall Lionesses and Millwall Community Trust matters.
Millwall Lionesses, in fact, head to Aylesford Recreation Ground this Sunday. That's at Clive Evenden Pavilion, Forstall Road, Aylesford, Kent, ME27AU, to face Aylesford Women. That's on Sunday, the 22nd of March, with a 3:30 kickoff. If you can join our Lionesses, they would greatly appreciate your support. Both teams are eager to progress in the league, but for us, this could be another double. In front of a passionate crowd, the Lionesses game will no doubt be played with pride, desire and determination. So be there and uplift our Lionesses. Come along, maybe even sing a song and chase and cheer our Lionesses on. Also, don't forget that a week later, our Lionesses will host Sutton United on Sunday the 29th of March. That kick-off is at 1:30 p.m. at the Den, and it's part of the community day that Sean told us about earlier. Tickets are now on sale. The Lionesses are looking for your support as they aim for a 2,000 plus attendance in SE16. Season ticket holders will enjoy the match for free by logging into their Millwall profile and selecting a seat on the ticket map. Tickets for non-season ticket holders will be £5 for adults and £3 for under 18s and over 64s. Hooray! That includes me in the under 18s, of course. They can be purchased from the Millwall website ticketing section or by calling the ticket office on 020 7231 9999 and selecting option 1. That's 020 7231 9999 and select option 1.
Tune in to the No One Likes Talkin team for reports from our games, home and away, for the Lions, Lionesses, Romans and Pride. You'll also receive updates on Millwall community topics from us and through Maritime Radio, available on 96.5 FM, DAB or via their website. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, formerly Twitter, for those that have not noticed that there's a big X on it these days, YouTube, Spreaker, Maritime Radio Podcasts, and all major podcast platforms. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, everybody, and enjoy the game at Ipswich.
Thank you, Stan.
Yeah, thank you, and hopefully we'll get the 3 points this week.
And Steve, thank you.
Thanks, Eamonn. And yeah, I'm looking forward to Sean bringing those 3 points back with him.
It'd be good if he did. And a big thank you to all of you for tuning in. But before I go, I'd just like to say that the Block 30 Jazz Boys, and that's the Block 30 at the Den, have produced a wonderful Let 'Em Come version that they asked that we would play at the end of the show. So enjoy what you hear. Finally, let's not forget to keep it safe on the streets out there. Bye for now.
Well, where's my Lions? The real deal. My Millwall family. The pride of London town. Stand up, 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 Let 'em come, let 'em come, let 'em come, let 'em come, let 'em all come down to the Den. Let 'em come, let 'em come, let 'em come, let 'em come. We'll only have to beat 'em again. It's the best team in London, oh, the best team of all. Everybody knows us, we're called Millwall. Let 'em come, let 'em come, let 'em come. Let 'em all come down to the Den. It's Saturday in Cold Blow Lane. We've all come down to cheer. We've had our jelly deal and our glass of beer. Come rain or shine, our families will bring. And as the Lions run on the pitch, everyone will sing.
Our Millwall Fans Show is sponsored by G&M Motors of Gravesend, Honda dealers and much more. Thank you.